Hi everyone, this is Crystal Lee, aka the Clinician Coach, and today I'm here to talk to you about why your marketing isn't working. So usually when people contact me, they really want to know how to get more referrals, more clients in the doors. And when I talk to them about what they're doing to actually market their practice and get the word out about their business, I learned that something isn't working. And there are some pretty common reasons why something isn't working or the marketing isn't working, and I'm going to be sharing those with you today. So before we dive in, I just want to make a little note about who I am and what the clinician coach is. So I'm a business coach that helps people build businesses that are passion driven, but that actually fit their life instead of the other way around, because I find a lot of times we've been socialized by grad school, our profession, to sacrifice a lot and to really make our business the priority and fit our life around our business. And I think that's just kind of BS. So that's kind of my philosophy. And so I'm hoping that, by giving you these free tips and advice and support, that you're able to really build a business that really fits into your lifestyle. Okay, so jumping right in, the number one reason why your marketing isn't working is usually because you're not marketing. And this sounds so silly, but you would be surprised by how many people I meet who don't actually market their practices and are wondering why they don't have clients coming in through the door. And I mean, I'll admit that I have been guilty of that too. When I started this business, the clinician coach, I did not tell anyone about it for a solid 6 months. And it was because I was ambivalent about it. And I was feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome and all these things. So there was something holding me back. And usually that's the case for other people when they're not marketing their business too. So the first step is kind of getting over those mental blocks so you can actually start marketing and feel confident about marketing and putting yourself out there. Another really common reason why someone's marketing isn't working is because they don't actually have a marketing plan and they're kind of just doing it haphazardly, the throw spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks kind of situation. And I really want to caution people against doing that because you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of energy. You should really, sit down and come up with an actual marketing plan, the who, what, why, when, where kind of thing, and then stick to the plan. I think if you have a plan, it makes it way easier to actually get out there and market. But when it's kind of this big, amorphous, overwhelming thing, then you're a little less likely to get out there and do it. For some people, it's that their message isn't very clear, so they haven't really thought enough about the business and their ideal client and their unique value proposition to really clearly communicate that to others. So when they go out and they're marketing or networking, their message is muddled and people don't really know who to refer to them. It's really unclear. So what I would encourage people to do is to practice coming up with a 30-second elevator pitch. And really what kind of the premise is you go on an elevator and you're with someone, they ask you what you do, and in 30 seconds, how would you explain to them what you do and who your ideal client is? So you really want to get it down packed and have that message be very, very clear, very concise, and that way when you go out and you're marketing and you're networking, then it's clear to people who to send to you. Another thing that I hear a lot of the times is, I'm going out, I'm doing all this networking, and it's just not effective. People aren't sending me clients, and it's so frustrating, and networking doesn't work. And I have to say that, networking has been my biggest source of referrals, like getting direct referrals from other professionals. So I'm a big believer of networking and having that be an effective tool in your marketing plan and an effective way to get referrals. And what I find is when I ask people like, how are you networking? They're not really doing it in a very effective way. And I'll do a whole other training on this because I'm a big believer in networking and doing it in a way that, builds relationships and connections and is real. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later, but one of the biggest things that I think people don't do is following up. So they go, they meet with somebody, and they expect the referrals to come pouring in because it was a great meeting, but they never follow up with the person. So you have this one meeting with them once, and then that's it. It's like, okay, you can't really build that like, no trust factor in one hour meeting, no matter how amazing it is. So really, I would encourage people to follow up, follow up, follow up. Another really common issue that I see is that people's websites aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They treat it almost like a stagnant resume page. Like, here's all about me, and now call me because I'm awesome. But that's really not what your website is for. I mean, in some ways, yes, but not really. Your website is meant to be another touchstone, another way for your potential clients to get to know you, to feel like you understand them, for them to start to trust in your abilities. So, some people think that their website is all about them, like them, the clinician, but the website is really actually all about your client. It's making your client feel a certain way, and your client feel understood, and your client feel compelled to reach out to you because, oh my goodness, you totally get them and you get their issue and you're going to be amazing. So really think about what is on your website, and is your website really doing what you want it to do, which is to have your clients feel like you are the person for them. Sometimes clinicians pick a unique value proposition because they think that's the easiest one for them to market and the easiest one for them to get referrals. I actually had this come up once when I was doing some business coaching with someone. I was asking them, who's your ideal client? How do you want to structure your business and all this stuff? And they started with, like, oh, well, it would be easiest for me to get these types of clients because of da 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 da. And I was like, oh, wait, no, back up. It's going to come through that you're not actually passionate about that particular ideal client or that particular UVP, because you're just kind of doing what you think is easiest. And it often will come through. It'll come through in your marketing, it'll come through in your networking, it'll come through in your website, and people are going to be turned off by that. People can tell if you're not being authentic and genuine. So instead, I would ask you to think about what drives you, what you're actually passionate about, and then build your business around that. Because I guarantee if you start there, it's going to be so much more effective when you're marketing and networking and doing all that stuff versus doing it the other way around where it's like, oh yeah, these clients are easy to get, so I'm going to do this, because it's not going to work. So the last thing that I'll mention is when your marketing isn't working, sometimes it's because, well, your marketing is working, but you have a leaky client pipeline. And client pipeline is just the phrase that I use when I think about, the journey that I bring my clients on, when they go from kind of just knowing me a little bit to trusting me to actually, becoming a client. And I'll do another training just on client acquisition pipelines because I think that's actually a really important part of onboarding clients. But just know that sometimes your marketing is working, and you are getting a lot of inquiries and interest, but it's your onboarding and your client acquisition pipeline, your journey that your clients are going through that is not working, and it's leaking clients at every step. So by the time they go through the whole process, there's only one person, whereas you might have started with 10. So really take a look at your pipeline, how people are going through that journey of first getting to know you and being aware of you to actually, having them be a client, and see where things might be leaking a little. And it's normal to have some leakage. Like, not every single person who becomes aware of you is going to be like, oh yeah, you're the therapist for me. I think that's unrealistic, but there's definitely ways to tighten up the pipeline so you're not leaking people unnecessarily. So I hope all of this information has been really helpful for you and has gotten you thinking a little bit more about your marketing practices and how you might be able to tighten things up a little bit. And I just wanted to do a little shout out to the Facebook group. If you're watching this video on YouTube or on my website, just wanted to let you know that I do have a free Facebook group where we have this community of awesome pre-licensed early career psychotherapists, psychologists, therapists, where you can get free resources from me, but also support from your fellow clinicians. And I think it's actually a really cool thing. So take a look at our group on Facebook, and I hope you join us. All right, thanks. Bye.